Hi, my name is Wyatt, and we are the STEAM team. We are in charge of composting, recycling, and garbage in our school. We have 50 students in our building and only one garbage a day. Let me show you how. We're gonna have to combine them.
Hi, I'm Cal Pomeroy. I'm the teacher for the STEAM room. Every day, our class does all the recycling, composting, and waste removal for our school. Audrey's going to tell you about our central waste removal system.
Yep. Okay. So, for instance, paper does not belong in the recycling. It belongs in the clearly labeled paper bin.
Every day we hand pick the garbage and we
You got this.
just like put it in the right place.
So, this belongs in the recycling.
These are the compost buckets, and we just put food in here.
Or food waste. You have to say food waste.
Food waste. We start doing this around like 1:15ish, and it takes us about like 5 to 10 minutes, maybe. And then we just pick out the garbage and put it like in the right place where it's supposed to go. Put like food in the compost buckets, like break it up, and then we just combined it all together, and then yeah.
So our school used to have 4 to 5 garbage cans and recycling bins per room. Over the course of 6 months, we have phased down. So all we have in our entire school right now is these 2 collection systems, which are in the hallway. Every day at what time?
1:15.
What do we do at 1:15?
We go around our school and we collect. I don't know what these are.
Collection stations.
I don't know what these collect. These don't have a. They don't have a name.
The bins.
The
Bins.
bin?
We collect the bins.
We collect the bins. What am I supposed to say for that?
What do we do with our bins?
After we collect all of our bins, we go through and we sort and we find violations.
So when we find violations, David, what are we doing every day actually in the garbage?
Oh, we're making sure that everything's in like the right place.
So what's the right place for that? Should that be in the landfill?
No, this should be in mixed recycle.
What else is in that landfill bag?
We have a pop can. This should be in the mixed recycle.
So when we finish with all of our stuff and we have sorted what is waste, what goes in the landfill, what is recycling, and what is composting, what do we do then? What is our next step?
We bring the bags out to the dumpster. Like
And where else?
The garbage cans outside.
Yep. So in the beginning of the year, we had 1 recycling bin for the entire school. Now we have 5, and we fill that up weekly. Have we really thought about our impact on the environment and how our waste removal in this whole process?
It's helping the environment.
And we're rethinking our impact on the earth. So not only are we helping reduce our waste, we're getting more steps. How did it go initially when we switched over from our system and we had 4 or 5 cans per room and we took them all out? How did the staff react and the students?
There was a lot of negative feedback from removing all of the trash cans from each room because not everybody wanted to go out into the hallway and having to just walk more. So, yeah, that's it.
It is kind of a silly excuse, right? So when we moved these systems into the hallway, we used to do this process. It took about an hour and a half every day to go through 20 bags of garbage. Rudy, the beginning of the year, what was it like when we were trying to navigate this process?
Beginning of the year, it was more chaotic. We were less sure about exactly what was going on, and it took a lot longer than it does now.
So over the course of 7 months, we've gone from 20 plus bags a day, 4 to 5 garbage cans per classroom, to 2 central location systems, 1 bag of garbage, about 1 full bag of recycling, and usually 2 to 3 bins of compost every day. We'll take you outside and show you what compost is. So what's the purpose of putting in the wood chips in our compost?
To make sure the food don't smell like really bad and like it don't mold.
And what do we need? And we have organic material. What are those 2 other things we add? They're colors to our compost.
Green and brown,
Why do we add greens and browns?
cause so it smells right.
It smells right, and then it decomposes, right?
Yeah.
This cool thing happens where you add all these different nutrients, and the carbon works with the nitrogen, and it all starts to decompose. Let's take a closer look at our compost. So when we first started composting, we didn't have the bin system we have right now. We used our pallet system. We were every day adding our waste. We were adding our food scraps, our greens and our browns. We partnered with 350 Vermont, 350 Rutland, a local branch, to help us build this closed compost bin system to have a more active compost pile. So Brandon, when our compost isn't in ratio, what happens to our compost?
It gets really disgusting.
It does
Smells
get
really bad.
disgusting, and it smells terrible. What other things do we have in our compost when it's not in ratio?
We have like flies and like mold.
So for every
Right.
1 bucket of organic matter we have, how many buckets
flies.
of wood chips or greens or browns do we have to add? Do you know? Do you remember?
No, I don't.
I think it's about
It's about 5. So we have a 1 to 5 ratio of what we're supposed to add. We're going to go into this bin system right now, and we're going to see how our compost is active and hot.
ugh.
It's very hot.
Woo, it is physically steaming. All right, we're going to lift this out, and we're going to take a look at that compost. Can you read the temperature in there, Brandon, while I close this up? Do you know what it says?
See a thermometer in there?
About like
100.
100.
It's 100. You can actually feel the heat coming off of this right now. It's pretty warm, to be honest. And you'll notice our food is actually starting to compost and break down. What do you think this was, a sandwich probably?
Yeah, that's a sandwich and it just like decomposed kind of.
Yeah, and this probably has been in here for a week or 2. So if you look right here at our thermometer, I gotta get my glasses on. We're right now in the warm bin. We want to get to active. So active is between 120 and 160 degrees where we're actively decomposing. We take our temperature maybe once or twice a week on here. Were we still hot in the winter time?
Yeah.
What was the pile like in the winter?
It was kind of hard to put the temperature, thermometer?
Yeah.
The thermometer in there because it was like frozen, but we still got it in there.
And what happened to our food in the winter when we learned about composting in the winter time?
It would just, smell bad.
Well, it smelled bad, but it was pretty compacted because it
Yeah.
was frozen solid.
Yeah. it
But
was
we still had an active hot compost pile.
Yeah.
Okay, so I have built a similar system, somewhat smaller, in my own house before building this one. And I tried to refine this design a little bit, yet at the same time keeping it, with the 3-inch insulated walls and ceiling. The roof is insulated with 3 inches of foam board, and the doors are also insulated as well. And in the floor of these bins, there's holes with hardware cloth covering in order to allow for some ventilation, and that's key. You do want to keep the piles aerated because this is aerobic bacteria, and they require air in order to metabolize and to stay alive. So these bins here have been accepting and composting the food waste for the entire 50-student school. And through the winter there have been some problems, but through experimentation I think we're ironing them out. And in the construction of it, I had Wyatt and a number of the other students here who actually helped me build this, and it was very much like building a house. We had to use all the construction processes for that sort of thing, and these guys were great. They did a wonderful job.
I made a little foot.
Through the winter and through some really cold conditions, building this thing. So, hats off to the students here for the job that they did.
The building took around 6 months to build. We worked partly into the winter. One of the design flaws was the roof. We should have made it to come off, but we ended up just making it sit there. Now you can put wheelbarrows and stuff in it without have to dump it on the ground and scoop and a whole bunch of different things.
It's
We literally
ideally that's the best thing to do, is to try to keep it aerated. And there's a real, it's not so much a science, it's an art, because every pile is different, but you do need to get air in. And sometimes you can get away with not digging and aerating the pile for long periods of time, and the reaction will keep going. Sometimes you have to get back in there, and you have to add kind of a fertilizer solution to jumpstart the process again. And you just have to monitor what's going on at any given time, and you have to play it according to its own whims.
Hi everyone, my name is Sharon Copley, and I'm here at Allen Street campus, and I'm working with the boys on composting. We started a new system this past winter. It was my first year here. It became very interesting. Gentlemen, could you help us demonstrate how to turn the compost pile, please? One of you? So, Brandon, can you please show us how to turn the compost? How do we do that? How do we do that?
Okay.
Come on over here. Okay. Now give a demonstration and show us how do we turn this? How do we stir this up so that it will chew up all the food? Can you show us?
Well, what we do is
Okay.
take this from here.
Yep.
And to get some of all this,
Mm-hmm.
bring it over to this one.
Okay, and can we just stir it, like mix it right up in here in this compost until we're ready to move it?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And then after we do that and we find that the food maybe isn't decomposing, what do we do? What could we add to that? What do we add to that every day?
Paper.
Okay, we
There's still
do
some
shredded
there.
paper. And what else do we do at the end of the day? Remember we discovered that it was best after we throw the food in there? What do we do?
I don't remember.
Okay, so we go over to the wood chips. Can you demonstrate it? Get a shovel full of wood chips, and then what do we do when we cover up the food? What do we do? How do we do that? Shovel it up. Let's go. Okay, come on over to the bin and show the people how you do that. Good. Is it really hard to do? No, it really isn't, is it, huh? You just have to remember to keep it into ratio, right? Okay, that's good. And then Brandon, what did we do last Friday? What did we have to do with some of ours? We had to empty out some of the bins?
Yeah.
And then what did we do?
We
Dump
had to
just-
move some
okay.
of that into that.
Okay, so where did we move it to?
Just bin right here.
Okay, so we moved it from one bin to the other, right? So we have 2 bins, 2 active bins going. And then what did we do after we emptied them all out? What did we find at the bottom of our bins? What did we find at the bottom of our bins? What is this? What is this?
Dirt.
It's dirt. It's compost, isn't it? This was food at one time, right? Okay, so now we found, oh wow, so we took it from those bins and put it into this decomposed bin, right?
It's basically dead food.
Dead food. And then what are we going to do with this? What are we going to do with this after? What are we using this for? Why are we doing this?
Like,
What is our plan?
it's like, let me think.
Remember, we looked it up today. What did we say we needed for our plants, for our flower beds? What did we need?
It's going on over and over again. Like you have the compost here, you're using that for something good, and then eventually it turns into this, and then you can use that for something else.
Okay, so in a few more weeks, what are we going to be doing? We're going to be going over to the building, and we're going to be planting our flowers, right? Are we just going to stick the flowers in the ground, and that's it?
No, we gotta use dirt.
Oh,
put it over
so
the
we have to
flowers.
use some of the
Glue on it.
compost.
Yeah.
Are we going to use a lot of compost?
No.
So just so everybody knows out there, you don't want to put a lot of compost. You want to mix it with your other soil. So you're going to take what? One part compost, right? 1 part of this into mixing it into what? 9 parts of regular soil. All right, and that'll make your soil richer so your flowers will grow better. And then we're going to take it and we're going to spread it onto our flower beds, right? So this is why we do this. Does this cost a lot of money if we had to buy this?
Yeah, it does.
Yeah, it does.
But now it doesn't because it's free.
Right, Wyatt, how much did it cost us to buy this black gold here?
100 something.
No, it was
Thousand.
almost right. It was almost $1,000. Can we afford to do that every day?
No.
No, we can't. And this is why we create our own what? Our own black gold, right? That farmers are selling. So that's what we're going to be doing, because what else are we going to be putting up, Wyatt?
The greenhouse.
The greenhouse?
Yeah.
And what are we going to do in the greenhouse?
We're gonna grow vegetables and do a whole bunch of different things.
Do a whole bunch of different things, right? So we're also going to be utilizing that stuff, right?
Yeah.
We think we're going to have enough?
Maybe not. Maybe.
Well, I hope so, because we can keep starting new stuff, can't we?
Yeah.
Right. And Brandon demonstrated that. We're going to take it from one bin, put it in another bin, and then when it's all done and cooked, it's going to go into the last bin here.
Sharon,
Right? Yes.
it's a law in Vermont to compost. If our students can do it, what do you think the problems are with the home composter, Wyatt? Why can't people at their own homes compost?
Because they can't always have access to wood chips and all the stuff you need for compost.
Okay, do some people in Vermont, in Rutland, do they rent their apartments?
Yes.
So is that possible to do that in a complex like that? No, why not?
Because it would smell too bad, and people don't know how to do it correctly, so it would be done wrong, and it would smell really bad, attract animals.
Oh, right. And flies, right? Yeah, I don't think people would really like that.
And neighbors.
And the neighbors would probably complain.
So we've been really lucky because our school schools produce a lot of waste every
Yeah.
day, organic waste. So we kind of have this built-in market of stuff we can compost, including our recycling and our garbage.
Yeah.
Have we increased or decreased our recycling since school started?
We've increased it massively. Like, it barely fits. We had to switch from a blue bag to an actual large garbage bag.
Why don't we show Jim over where our recycling bins are?
All right.
Okay, let's go.
You want to grab? Come on, David. Your bag started to blow away. It's over. They put it by. It was blowing away. It was so light.
So one of the parts that we do is we take our garbage and put it into the bin here, and then our recycling stuff we empty right out there. Brandon, do we have our bags, or we put them away already?
Kind of got in.
So at the end of the day, after everything is done, do we just leave everything right here? No. Okay. David, thanks. Let's take the pitchfork because that could be dangerous, David, okay? Put it over to the side. You're going to stir it up a little. As you can see, the boys make sure that none of this garbage is on the outside because of the smell and also the animals that could come up here. Good. Good, David. Okay, so David, let Brandon in there so he can finish up the wood chips, okay? Thank you. Okay, so come on, grab some wood chips, you guys. Let's go. Come on, David. Let's go. We'll put one more shovel in there. That's good. Okay, nice. So now we have to clean this off so we can get the, what do we have to put up here? What has to go here?
The wood. The paper?
No, the door, doesn't it?
Oh, yeah.
So we got to clean that up. You have your gloves on. Could you please clean this off so we can get the door on, please?
Stop.
Yep. Push it all the way back. Yep. There you go. Get right in there. Okay. And it's got to go down, so you got to make sure. Need some help, David? Okay. There, that's better. Give it a slam. Okay, close this one up, David. You might not get it all the way latched. Let's see here. Let's try that again. There you go. Latch her up. Okay, so the next one we want to do is over here. Okay, David, will you help him, please? Hold on a minute, we got a stick in the way. There you go. Is this really hard, this system?
No.
Guys, is this system really hard?
No.
Do you find this complicated?
No.
Okay, so boys, how do you feel about doing this every day after school, before you go home? How do you feel about this job? Is it worth it?
It's gross, but yeah,
It's worth it, isn't it? What are we saving?
a lot of money.
We're saving a lot of money, but what's more important than the money?
Food.
The food, but what are we doing? What are we helping by composting?
The environment.
The environment, and that's much. We've learned that, right, by watching videos of plastic oceans and all those other nasty things, animals getting sick and dying, right? And this is what we're doing. We're trying to save the planet. Okay? And by doing this, we can show other people that they can too save the planet, right? Okay, grab your buckets. Okay.
Gonna wash.
We're the STEAM team from Round Street Campus.